How are you guys going home? I guess you would understand what it's like to have animals everywhere. Have you got home and had a bit of a few days off, or straight back into work?
No, we had a show in Kununurra on the Saturday night, last Saturday night, and then Sunday we travelled back about 500k, so 6 or 7 hours in the truck, and then Monday we straight into shows. So we haven't really we did a few shows with the GAN train that people jump on the GAN train from Adelaide to Darwin. That comes through here 4 times a week, so that's already started. Then we had a show in Catherine on Friday night, and then one in Darwin Saturday night, back Sunday, and then we're just straight back into shows. So I get a few days off, though. I think this Friday I shoot to Sydney, record another 6 songs that I've written on the road.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah, so that's really a holiday for me, no dogs, no horses.
Yeah, no animals to feed, or no mouths to feed. So those 6 songs, because I was going to talk to you about your album that's coming out in August. Are they for that album, or they're for the next lot?
Yeah, the album's already completed, so this is for the next lot, because I thought, the album will come out in August, but we've got nothing new, so I better keep writing, and then I just want to keep just releasing songs because I love it, and it puts pressure on me to get my head in the gear and get things cranking.
It keeps it going, doesn't it? Because I know if I don't write anything for a little while, it takes a little bit to get your head back into that game and keep it flowing. So if you've got to do something to keep it ticking, don't you?
Yeah, I normally do write a lot in the truck as we travel, but my wife Annabelle put the kids' seats in there, so I've got 2 little kids in there as well, and they took a fair bit of yapping. So we didn't get as many songs written, but it was still a lot of fun, with them as well, traveling around.
It won't be long and they'll be writing them with you. They're getting bigger, I saw.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully they can take over the whole lot, and I can have a day off. It'd be great.
Yeah, that would be perfect. At least earn their pocket money doing the animals and picking up the messes that they're making.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got to keep them busy. You've got a current single out. Is this your last single before the album, or are you going to try and squeeze another one in?
Yeah, no, I've got another 2 coming out, I reckon. One I'll probably just release silently on Spotify and Apple Music in June. And then I got the title track called Here's to You, to duet with Laura Frank. So it'll come out early August, and then late August, 22nd will be the album release. So, it's good to get another few out there.
Absolutely. And you did that song on stage in Tamworth, on the big stage, didn't you? The park stage.
Oh, yeah.
We watched you guys play that there. It was a great to see everybody listening to that song. It was very well received.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to get out there and
Yeah, absolutely. So you've just wrapped up 6 months on the road, 65 shows.
Something like I don't really keep count, but they reckon there's something like that.
Is that your biggest year yet? Are you growing every year with all the stops?
It's probably, I think the year before we did 70 shows, but we want to do a couple of camp drafts in WA with the horses. So we had them on board. So I thought, let's just have a couple of weekends off. So we did that. So, but I think this next tour is 70 shows. So it's, it's pretty full on, but it is pretty awesome getting out there and seeing the people and hearing their stories. And, it's very fulfilling, very rewarding.
Does that make writing a bit easier too, being out and not at home doing that same sort of routine every day, being on the road?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're always checking in with people, and my ear is just like, just constantly listening to my own conversation with someone, and even kids, what they're saying, and phrases and stories. It's a great challenge to write a really cool song, I think. And so, not that I've got many cool songs, but I think there's so many inspirational stories out there that I want to capture. So I think there's a real art in that. So that's what I want to keep working towards. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting to meet so many people, the stories that I would imagine you'd hear would be pretty incredible. And even seeing how your music. What just happened? We just lost each other?
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear the beeping, or is that just me?
No, I can hear the beeping.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. Just a moment. Sorry. I have no idea. Hang on.
Don't know. Oh, I can't hear you.
Got it back. Sorry. Something
Yep.
really weird happened then. It's like it just reset itself and went back into the thing and it didn't stop. So sorry about that. I don't know.
Good, mate. Oh, good.
I've got an Apple computer now, and this is the problem. I'm not very good at them. I do miss my Windows, but at the same time, it is easy to use when you're editing videos. So I do see why people do it. So before that happened, we were talking about you doing your 70 shows and hearing everyone's stories on the road, and hearing how they resonate with your songs. Because I would imagine a lot of people listen to songs and think, "Oh, I know that happened to me," and it'd be really interesting to see people's versions of that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I think I've got to do 250 shows here in the dry season for the 5 months we're here with the GAN train, buses, school camps. So we probably work harder here in Katherine than we do on the road with shows and everything, but we still meet a lot of people coming through here. So, it's probably, it's just, I think if you're aware of and being present in the conversation when you're talking to people and, really attuned to what they're saying and probing a little to see what other information you can get out of them, because I got an awesome song out of just a little kid, a 5-year-old kid the other day, and just said something about his dad, and I said, what? And then so I just sparked something straight away. So I just wrote it down on my phone, came back to it later, and we got one coming out.
That is exciting. And I often wonder, the people that we write about, I wonder if they ever know that it's them that we've got the story from, or if they hear it and go, "That I know that." When you go back round. So we were talking about your current single. This is what date? It's only just come out. Is it been out for a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, been out for a week.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. How's it all going? Because the film clip, the whole song is so well done and so much fun. Watching the film clip, it looked like the best day making that, and some incredible people that you've been working with. Tell us how it's going and how did it all come about?
Yeah, well, I just rang up Luke O'Shea and said, "Hey, big fella, you better get back to Katherine." So we flew him up, did a concert here, and then I said, "I got to write a few songs with you while you're here." So the song title popped into his head as he drove down to Katherine, because in his hire car, because he just said, "Mate, living in the middle of Sydney, you've got to be tough to live up here. You know, the heat, the humidity, the isolation, the resilience people must have, and they must want to live up here, with all this stuff going on." So I said, you're pretty much on the money. So we began to write this song, and then we thought, well, we could possibly get a lot of singer-songwriters involved in on the song who live up here and experience it at the top end. So, I just rang around and rang Sarah and Chris Matthews and Dave Garner, Melanie Gray.
Oh, yes.
And, they just said, "Yep, no worries." I hadn't even heard the song, but they said, "Yep, no worries." And I said, "Mate, you haven't even heard it." I said, "It's all right. Do it."
I trust you.
Yeah. So I know we needed a few Indigenous as well. So we got Liam Stansfield, who's an amazing singer, and as is Nicole Lampton, who was from the Gulf. And we reckon top ends from Cairns to Broome, all across.
Yep.
So she came, she was up here just by chance on those dates. So we got them involved and we said, "Listen, we'll get everyone together, learn your parts of the song, see which ones you feel comfortable with. I hired a studio in Darwin. We went in there for 3 hours, whacked everyone's vocals down, had a film crew there, and got everyone to get film while we're doing that. And when we got it all prepped, and then I said, we've got to run down to the beach and do the film clip. And I said, it looked really cool if we did have the 2 other fellas. I found Indigenous fellas for the clapsticks and the didgeridoo. So yeah, we recorded them, whacked them on. They got the afternoon off school. They were stoked. So yeah, it was just a really cool vibe, and everyone got into it and had a crack. And yeah, it was really good to see how all the voices and the dynamics of their personalities came through.
I loved that, and I think too, it surprised me to see such a broad array of artists as well, and all artists that we absolutely love. It's interesting how you just said, you came together and had to figure out your parts, and then within 3 hours lay the vocals down for that. That, to me, it would have taken forever to work it out. So for you guys to come in and work so closely as a team very quickly, that would have been quite a challenge, I would imagine.
Yeah, and just to see whose voice suited which part. And then, I remember we had a bit of a version there about a bridge, and then we asked Liam, because I knew he could rap. I said, no, Liam, you can rap. So let's just write something here. So Luke and I just bounced off each other and wrote this bridge in front of old mate, and he was going, what's going on here? And then, for 50,000 years, we're here right now, and it's really, I just thought it was really cool. And then we had to do the film clip, and he's very shy and an introvert, and I'm in front of him. So get that drone down here and get in his grill, and come on, I'm behind that. Come on, mate, give it to me. And you got to really sort of pump them up and get them, and then in the film clip, try to get the young fella with the didge. I said, get that didge up and get the silhouette of the didgeridoo and the clapsticks. I want to see you guys hitting them and cracking jokes to make them laugh, so that they get that joy coming out of them. Yeah. Otherwise, it's very serious. And so Luke was really cool, and everyone was, but I mean, Luke and I had to keep bouncing up, paying each other out, making everyone laugh to capture that true essence, to
get that feel from the song. And I mean, I know it's like when someone says, let's take a photo, and everyone does that really awkward smile. As soon as the camera's in front of you, it just doesn't work. So it's trying to break that and let them forget the camera's there and actually just show everyone how much fun you're having.
It's got to be natural.
It does, that's right. Kaz has just jumped in, and she said to say hi. She's just arrived in Dubbo for an album launch, and she's sorry she missed you in Catherine.
Good day, Kaz.
Kaz is always everywhere. I love hearing wherever Kaz is. She does so much. I wish I was just following her around. She just doesn't stop. Tell us a little bit about your upcoming album. Can we pre-save that yet? I know we can obviously we'll be at your singles will come out, as you said. You've got one that will be just released on Spotify, but are there you're going to be doing pre-saves for album and the next single? How's that going to work?
Yeah, I think it'll come out mid-July. Pretty sure. Talk to my crew that organise all that stuff, and we'll try to get it out mid-July so that, or early July, so that people can get cranking on that. But so it's been a lot of fun, and it's just awesome to get. I'm not sure if this is my 6th or my 7th album, but yeah.
Is it your 7th? Oh, I should know that.
Heatwave, Territory Time, We're Still Here, and then whatever the last one was. It must be my
6th album. 6th.
Yeah, but it is awesome. Still co-writing, love it. And Garth Porter and Luke O'Shea. I got Luke to produce Top End Tough and Bucket Baby because I just thought it was his niche. So get him cracking on that. And then Garth was really good about doing the rest, and Rod McCormack engineering. So it's just an amazing.
Yeah, the team that you've had, incredible, absolutely incredible for you. So I know you've just finished your round of shows, but people that want to come and see you in Catherine while you're there, how does that work? Do they get tickets online when they arrive? How does it all work?
Yeah, so our tourism venture up here is called the Catherine Outback Experience. So we've got a website, so you can just book online there. Just go to the website, book online. What we're doing is for the last 12 years, I've sort of been the front man doing all this. Up here, we do like a horse breaking demo, starting a young horse under saddle. Sometimes get bucked off. And then we do a liberty section with all the horses and the laying down and things like that. We've got a wedge of dogs as well. So all different ages and sizes. We show you how we start them around the goats and on cattle. And then we've got a section where we start training the horse on the mechanical cow to get it ready for camp drafting and stopping and turning and things like that. And then also the songs, get wedged in there as well, and some good yarns. We got the buffalo and donkeys and Brahman bulls. So we've got all these other animals. So for years I've done it all, and now I'm training all these other people up. So how to train dogs, how to train horses, and so that I can shoot off like for a week to go to Sydney, record new songs. I got Chris Matthews singing a few songs for us while I'm away in the show, and other people coming through to train dogs and horses and step in and fill that role. So, but usually we email ticket holders and say Tom's not here for that period. Just to give people a heads up. But we're about 5 k's out of Catherine, so a lot of people fly to Darwin, hire like a little caravan, minivan thing, shoot down, do Litchfield, Catherine, back through Kakadu. You can do it in a week, and see a lot of the sites that way as well.
That sounds fantastic. I might have to do the trip myself. That sounds like a lot of fun. So when, as you're saying, like, when you step away, you've got it to a point where people can step in and run it. But when, I know we've spoken about it before in other shows, when you came up with the whole Catherine Outback experience sort of at the beginning, you already had those skills of growing up on the farm and training dogs and horses and that sort of thing. How did you originally come about with that idea of joining the two, music and animals farm?
Yeah, well, I'd been on the road a lot with Sarah Storer in the early days, 2004, for my first album, and I loved it, but I really missed the horses and the dogs, working dogs, and I think over the years it's become a bit of a therapy session to recharge the batteries. Is to go train a few dogs and horses by myself, and the animals are there, and I'm sort of really, working with them, but really recharging. And so I thought, and over the wet season, I suppose, I used to just go down south and break in or start young horses under saddle. And so I thought, well, maybe I could just combine this and start this Outback show. And it was after the live beef export ban hit in 2011. I was, starting about 150 horses a year for all the cattle stations up here. And overnight, that ban just hit, bang, I was out of work. So I went singing at the caravan parks in Catherine 4 nights a week. And they said, "Oi, can we come and see you training dogs and horses?" So we started this show. And over the years, gradually started to get built it up. But I did a lot of shows to 1 or 2 people. Often no one. But,
Oh, it's frozen for a second. It'll come back. It always does. I think we'll get you back. We'll give it a moment and it will refresh. I think it's somewhere around 7 o'clock. I think Starlink does this funny update. Here we go. You're back. That was the Starlink update thing, wasn't it? It does that every now and again.
Oh, it does too. Yeah.
It does it randomly. Yeah, we're both on it. So yeah, that was. We've had a great show. It's going really well.
That's like my show, mate. Going everywhere. It's good.
Exactly right. No, it's really interesting hearing how that came about. It almost sounds like it was kind of like an accident. It kind of just happened and it grew on its own and took off.
Yeah, and we get a lot of dogs and horses that people don't like or get along with, and we just train them in the actual show. So, there was one of the first horses I used was a pretty troubled horse and got it for nothing, kept bucking me off and other people off. So I had to teach it to lay down and then lay on top of it and rub it and reassure it all and build its confidence up. And then, yeah, we taught him to roll out a swag and push a pram and pick up a hat, and became part of the whole show, But I had to teach him to lay down to get inside his mind a little, to calm him down and reassure him. Once we got that, then we could start training on him. And he started winning a few camp drafts, and then my kids could ride him, So it's like a whole process you've got to go through. And we just showed that, through the show with different sorts of animals.
Do you keep, so I know with dogs, I know you train them to a point and then they get homed. Is that what you do with the horses as well? How does that all work? You once they're trained and doing those things, do you move them on? How do you, because you can't just keep adding, can you?
No, my wife's onto me, so we can't. I don't tell Annabelle on the road where the dogs. She doesn't know where the dogs appear from. She doesn't know anything. So I just keep it hush. And otherwise she gets a bit worked up about stuff. But it's all about the dog's mind. So on the road, people do breed a lot of dogs, and they say, mate, we've got this one. Here you go, you can have it. I said, well, hang on a second. And I just muck around with her a bit and just see where its mind's at. And after a couple of minutes, I can tell roughly if it's going to be, how smart it is, what it roughly had done to it in the previous growing up stage. Because you can get a dog and you can put all this work into the dog, but if it has flashbacks into, say, it's scared of loud noises, for instance, like if you put a garbage can lid down loudly on the garbage can, makes a bit of a bang noise, that could just set that dog, and you'd be working perfectly, but all a big loud noise like that, and then it has a flashback and it takes off out of the arena. It's really hard to get that out. Sometimes you can't even get that out of them. So
so PTSD is actually quite a strong thing for animals.
Pardon me. So, you've got to be very, I love helping out any animal, but you still got to be very careful of what trauma that dog's carrying and how much of that dog you can get back, in a trainable fashion. And, so these days, I used to take on anything, but over the years, I've realised that you can't help everything. In my situation, when there's big crowds, microphones, and kids squealing and stuff. So, but we still get a lot of them done, trained and rehabilitated into the workforce all around the country, rounding up sheep and cattle. So it is still very rewarding.
It sounds fantastic. I love how you do it. And I have not, I've seen you play so many times, but I have not got to see the animal one. So I think this year we're going to make it a thing. We're heading your way. It has to happen. Clint has just popped in and he said, "G'day, Tom. I saw you in Tamworth. We're traveling in our van through Alice at the moment, hoping to catch your show when you get further up. That'll be fantastic, Clinton.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think of it. You have to let us know and send us photos, pictures. We'd like to live through you, all of you.
I might just lift a few dollars, say a good thing about us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he'll pay you after the show. Just hang in there. He has so anyone else going to the show has to buy a hat because he has to pay Clinton. That's the rule. Tell us, can we also, through your website, can we get merch? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, you can jump on to tomcurtin.com.au. There's merch there, and there's a whole wedge of new merch coming with all this new tour. It's going to be called the Here's to You tour. So there'll be more hats and shirts and a lot of things coming. So over the next few months, we're going to ramp that up a bit. So, keep an eye out on that, and we'll definitely advertise that as well as we get it up and going.
Absolutely. Now, Scott has done all these amazing graphics for us today, and he is currently in a meeting, so that's why things haven't been running smoothly, because it's me doing it. But he's given us 2 fun facts, and I haven't read them, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're about, so let's have a go. He said, the first fun fact, the single Top End Tough is taken from your forthcoming album, Here's to You. We've already beat you to this one, Scott. Set for release the 22nd of August. And I don't know what the next one is. We might have beaten him to that as well. And he said that we have just finished touring 65-date national tour. You've taken 3 artists on the road and additional staff, 10 horses, 12 working dogs, 4 goats. If you have to pick one of those to work with, what is the easiest?
Probably a goat. No. Well, we ended up, he said, yeah, but we ended up, instead of 10 horses, we ended up with 11 horses.
Yeah.
And I think there was, we ended up with 15 dogs and 5 goats by the time we got home. So we've got them all here tuned. I just trained up a few just before, after a show. So it's a lot of fun. But I don't know. They're all a little bit different, like you got your wife, then you got your own kids, and then you've got the staff that look after or help look after the dogs and horses, feeding them and looking after nutrition and things. And then you got the musicians. They're like a different kettle of fish altogether. Okay. And then you've got the animals. Okay. So you've got all these different people and animals. And I treat them all the same. They're all my mates, they're all pretty cool. You got to treat them right. But yeah, I think at the end of a show, when it doesn't matter how the show goes, but at the end when you check in with everyone and how'd you go here, good work there, and getting feedback off your own team, I think, and what can we do better in each one? It's a really cool buzz. You're sitting down afterwards talking about it all and who did you meet and what was the fun thing that happened, and it's just talking about, and because there's so much, like we start with a 15 Outback show, and then Chris Matthews sings for half an hour, and then we do the Outback show. Laura Frank jumps up for half an hour, sings, and I've got to jump up with everyone. And so when I'm singing, I'm still going, okay, now is that horse there? Is that where are the goats? Are they sorted? Oh my God, there's kids and adults just dancing everywhere. Yeah. And you still got to remember your song and is old mate enjoying himself out there? Let's get old mate's feet tapping over there. And so there's a lot going through my head, and the musos know that. They know that my head is just going constantly about all this stuff. So it's a lot of fun, and you don't know what's going to happen, which is very unpredictable. Yeah.
I do remember, and I think it was this tour that you did have an incident on the horse where you didn't survive, and neither did the guitar. Was that this tour or was that last year's tour?
Yeah, I think it might have been last tour. Yeah, I had a brand new $3,000 guitar, and the horse, there was 2 kids, and normally there's one at a time, but these 2 kids ran at the same time, and I thought he was going on this, and the horse said, no, I'm going that way. So I just fell off, and the horse went there, I went there, fell onto the ground, had my guitar, my 6-pack broke the guitar. But honestly, smashed the guitar, and we donated it to the Pinaroo kindergarten. We auctioned it off and made $1,000 for the kindy that night. So it all wasn't lost. Yeah.
You know what though? Next time, just donate the $3,000 instead of buying the guitar. It might be an easier way to do it.
I might just give up the guitar and be safer.
You're doing very well. It's so good to see you coming back. I love how you guys just all year round doing something different, and there's no tour on the road like what you guys are doing. I know you and Annabelle work so well together and do so much behind the scenes as well. So it's great to see. At the moment, if we want to follow you and see what you're up to between now and going back on the road, what's the best social media to follow along with?
Yeah, probably Facebook and Instagram. Tom Curtin Official on Instagram. It's just Tom Curtin on Facebook. We do have a TikTok page as well, so we're starting that up. And you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, and all those platforms as well with the new songs. Some will go to radio, some will just go silently out to Spotify to build that following as well. So, no, it's just a lot of fun. And we're also, just brainstorming to get more ideas out for the road and not the same old show. We want to change it up for the 10th year on the road. So I want to add a few more songs and in the Outback show and a few more just funny stuff to keep the unpredictability going.
Absolutely. It always is fun on the road, and I have been lucky enough to get to see you guys a few times now, and it never ever goes how you think it's going to, which is what I love the most about it. Just
no, it is
fun.
good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on again, Tom. Hopefully, you come back for the next single next month, because we're nearly at the end of April. That's a bit crazy, actually, thinking that. But so two more chats hopefully before the album comes out.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. And a massive thanks to Jules too for Wild Heart Publicity.
Yes,
She has a
absolutely.
heck of a lot behind the scene there to help it all ticking along as well.
Absolutely. Jules has been absolutely wonderful. I don't know whether she even sleeps, I'm not sure, but she is wonderful. So thank you, Jules, as well. Thank you guys so much. It was lovely having you on the show. If you guys want to check out Tom's new single, if you want to go back through, there is a QR code there that you can scan or go to whichever platform, but have a look at the film clip because it looked like a great day of filming.
Oh, yeah, because we whacked it on YouTube, so check it out. It's a lot of fun. You'll see Chriso and Luke O'Shea laughing at inappropriate times, but it's still a good vibe.
It really just shows it's true. It's genuine because that's those guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back next week. We've got lots of shows coming up at lots of different times. There is a comment there before we go. Kaz she said, thanks, guys. Thank you, Kaz. Enjoy. She's at Ben Ransom's album launch at his winery at the moment. So go and have fun, Kaz. Send us some photos. We love Ben. But thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you all next week. See you guys later.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.